following is a slightly modified version of Brendan Cooney's words on abstract labor, adapted to be spoken. The link to the original text will be available in the description. Some critics charge that Marx's notion of abstract labor is problematic if it is interpreted as referring to physiological aspects of the labor process. Several times in Capital and the Critique of a Political Economy, Marx refers to abstract labor as a productive expenditure of human brains, muscles, nerves, hands, etc. These abstract elements of labor are a physiological fact to Marx. There is a line of criticism directed at Marx's physiological definition of abstract labor. We find this critique in its classic form in the writings of Soviet economist Isaac Rubin, who argued that a physiological definition of abstract labor implies that all labor throughout history has been abstract, thus naturalizing and reifying the category of capitalist social relations. It is tempting to agree with Rubin. After all, Marx is constantly critiquing bourgeois economists for projecting categories like capital and labor back in time in a way that makes elements of capitalist production seem like eternal natural aspects of all social orders for all time. It is true that all labor, regardless of the mode of production, is an expenditure of effort over time. This could make it appear as if all labor throughout history is abstract, and therefore all labor has produced value. However, as explained in the opening paragraphs of this series, what allows us to say that abstract expenditure of human brains, muscles, and nerves of the tailor is equivalent to that of the weaver is the fact that both are subjected to the same social process, socially necessary labor time, which disciplines workers to produce at the social average and which only counts their product as social to the extent that it meets this social average. While we can use our powers of mental abstraction to see that the labor of cavemen, Roman slaves, etc., were all expenditures of human energy in the abstract, it is only in a capitalist society that society, not philosophy, performs this abstraction. It is only with capitalism that the abstraction, labor in general, becomes a practical truth. Thus, labor can be physiologically abstract, and at the same time, abstract labor can be a historically contingent category, the result of a specific social relations, and not an eternal category of all human history. Rubin's difficulty in understanding how a physiological category can be abstract is a product of an artificial division which he erects between social aspects of capitalism and the material or technical aspects of capitalism. For Rubin, social relations between people are the subject of value theory, while the technical aspects of production are the subject of science. From this arbitrary dichotomy comes the conclusion that physiological aspects of labor cannot produce value because they are technical aspects of production, and not a social phenomenon between people. Rubin's arbitrary dichotomy of social and technical is similar to the aforementioned dichotomy of mind and matter. Both assume that material things can only be concrete and that abstractions belong to the mind or to social reality. This way of dividing up philosophy short-circuits the power of Marx's method, making it impossible to see how a physiological reality can be abstract, social, and historical. If you're now thinking that such debates are purely for the realm of obscurantist philosophers, it should be noted that Rubin's social and technical dichotomy is reflective of the Soviet approach to socialism, which treated the development of the forces of production as a purely technical issue, while ignoring the fact that Soviet workers were just as degraded, alienated, and exploited as their counterparts in capitalist society. To truly free workers from the tyranny of abstract labor, we need an understanding of abstract labor that does not reduce abstractions to purely mental activity. It does not treat the labor process purely as a technical process unshaped by the mode of production. We will return to this theme later in the series. If you're feeling confused, just keep moving forward, or rewatch the videos.